Welcome to the Afterspin, opinions from thought leaders in our state. I want to ask Mike Walden and Rebecca Tippett. We spend a lot of time on this show talking about the urban-rural divide in our state and what we can do to help our rural areas. So I'm going to ask you, if you had a magic wand and can wave it, what one change would you make to help our rural counties? Mike Walden?
I would improve the availability of vocational and technical educational options in high schools. Actually, I would do that statewide. I think we've gotten on a path where high school students are thought they all have to go to college, four-year college. There are plenty of good paying jobs. I know I just paid lots of money to a plumber where you don't need 4 years in undergraduate school. The jobs of the future are going to be very different. I think they're going to be more task-oriented rather than occupationally or broadly oriented. And young people have different talents. They have different intelligences. They're not all designed to want to do research and be technology people, et cetera. So I think we need to have more options for different kinds of learnings and different kinds of job perspectives as early as high school, maybe as early as junior year.
Mike, let me ask a follow-up on that, because you've been saying this. I can remember an emerging issues forum that you went to back in 2007, 2008, and you were saying that then. There doesn't seem to be a great deal of evidence that we've been making a lot of progress in making those kinds of changes.
Well, we have seen more people talking about it.
Talking, yes.
But not necessarily doing that. But all I can do is continue to point out the logic of this and the fact that I think this could be a big help toward not just shrinking the urban-rural divide, but obviously getting people gainfully employed. For example, it's estimated we have maybe 250,000 people who are of working age who are not disabled, who are not in the labor market, meaning they don't have a job and they're not looking for a job. Those kind of people, maybe they have different talents that something like vocational and technical education offer to them as early as high school will get them interested.
But the numbers are very compelling. You work with demography and numbers. Only 30% of our population actually has a higher degree of any, so there's 70% of our adults who don't. Makes a lot of sense. What were you going to say about the magic wand?
Well, I want to follow on that a little bit, because I do think that that's really the skills gap that's very much missing in a lot of our training. College is not necessarily for everyone. We have a lot of people who start and they don't finish, leaving them somewhat worse off than when they went in, because now they often have debt without the credential that goes along with it. And we also have a great community college system well suited to serving communities across the state. But one of the things that I've been looking at recently is the digital divide, and in particular, internet access. And we have new data that shows that 76% of North Carolina households are subscribing to the internet, but that ranges from less than half of households in Swain County to nearly 9 of 10 households in Wake County. So that's a huge opportunity. And within that, it's important to keep in mind that about 10% of those households with internet are using cell phone only access. So if we're talking about internet access and digital capacity as really vital for full participation in the global economy, being able to take advantage of new emerging sectors of employment, as well as the opportunity to offset things like the decline of healthcare in the community and with the rise of telemedicine. I think that having not just digital infrastructure, but also digital kind of integration in those communities is going to be very important.
I agree with you.
And this is very important because, I mean, you can't do business anymore without being connected to the internet.
I agree with the importance of internet. I think, however, we don't want to jump the gun and go out there and spend a lot of money laying cable, because there are new technologies on the horizon, literally on the horizon, with low-level satellites that can deliver that service much more affordably.
When will we see them?
It's being talked about now, and potentially we'll see some prototypes of that in 2019.
Hasn't Google or Facebook been doing stuff in Africa?
Yes.
I think there are a lot of opportunities, particularly for our less densely connected communities, that may benefit from some of those emerging technologies on a cost per consumer.
So I'm optimistic that that challenge will be met by the private sector, actually.
So, in summary, better vocational education and training programs.
In high school, when young
yes.
people are really thinking about their future.
And then better connectivity. All right. Well, thank you for watching the Afterspin. We'll have more video all during the week on ncspin.com.